Welcome back to Let's Talk Sis with your girl Tameca. I am the founder, creator, owner of a movement called Let's Go Sis, which ended up into Let's Talk Sis, because I think that I needed to address some of the things that are in our community. So I'm gonna continue to introduce myself here, where you can find me right here on Central City Radio, centralcityradio.com, and go to podcast and look up Let's Talk Sis. You can also get me on my Instagram at Tameca, Tameca8. You could get me on my Facebook at Tameca Howell, Howell. I'm also on, what am I on? And just my email, TamecaHowell@yahoo.com, because I really want you guys to tap in. I want you to start to ask your questions. Even come on, if you want to come on and let's talk. So today, we're going to talk about black men and black women relationships. So I have with me, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Go on, introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, good morning, world. This is your man, Mr. 585, Mr. Conversation, Flip the Conversation, however you want to say it. Either name will do. You can reach me at Mr. Conversation 585 on Instagram and Big Unc 585 on Facebook.
So we calling you Mr. Conversation today. Is that what your name is today?
Yes, that's what
All right, that's what we're going to do, Mr. Conversation. All right, so tell us what you do.
Well, what I do is I like to bring light to these young men, young women, and just kind of give them some game so we can just change the way they think and change the perceptions and get some positivity back in our neighborhoods and in our communities with these young folks. Because we working hard out here, and these young folks is just, they got the hood on fire.
The hood on fire.
Fire. So
I kind of met you when we were talking about Flip the Convo. Is the brand, I would say, the slogan, the purpose, tell me about Flip the Convo.
You got it. Flip the Convo is just that. It's the initiative to actually change the mindsets and change the thinking of some of our young folks and our older people out there, just to kind of, change up the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we think, the way we get out of certain situations. Hopefully we won't put ourselves in situations and different things and like that. And that's what Flip the Convo is all about.
I'm down with it. I don't call it Flip the Convo, but I think this podcast is basically that. How do we get out of the things that have plagued our communities for generations after generations? And I said this last week, and I say it on probably all my podcasts, but our children are doomed, man.
Man, they hurting out there, and you know what? I feel like I would be a sucker if I wouldn't give them some game out here.
A sucker in game.
Yeah,
okay.
Because
all right, you might have a conversation for them. You got to speak their lingo.
Yeah, you got to be able to talk how they talk.
Yeah, I believe in speak the language that your audience speaks. So whoever that audience is, speak that language. So anyway, I do want to give y'all an update, and as you know, me and you have been talking about this as well. That our teens and children and gun violence. And so last week we talked about my son's best friend being murdered at McDonald's. And if you didn't hear it, y'all got to go check out the last one. But I just want to give an update. So the little boy, Christopher Track, turned himself in. Here's the sad part, though. They're going to try him as an adult. Did I think they wouldn't try him as an adult? No. But that's another life. A lot of people think, I don't have the same heart. I can't say eye for eye. That's just not me. However, so now you got my son's best friend's dead, murdered, and then you have this little boy about to lose his life as well.
Yeah, that's two negatives.
Right. And I can only imagine what, when we was at the vigil, was a lot of the high schoolers there, very emotional. So I can only imagine how many of them, what's going to happen with them.
Right. Somebody got to try to talk to these young people and actually get those feelings out of them. And that way, maybe they won't be so quick to react physically if they can actually sit down and talk to somebody. And I'm here to tell y'all young folks, man, if y'all want to tap in and talk to me, just tap in. You ain't got to tell me your name. You ain't got to tell me nothing. We could just talk about your situation. I can give you some game, and then, you could take that information and try to, make the best decision for yourself. And that's what it's all about.
What I'm excited about is one of they have done. One of my other friends, and the girl and it's a girl and a guy, but they created a song to kind of release some of their anger, some of their pain, some of their hurt. So I tapped in with one of my homies, Willie. Shout out to Willie at the Bakery Recording Studio. Yeah, that's a young man doing things. I'm gonna bring him and his girl on. We gonna talk to them as well. But anyway, at the Bakery, he's willing to allow them to come to the studio and lay down the track. Right, and so I'm gonna try to get as many of them as possible, whether they're speaking, whatever it is. But maybe they need a couple of sessions. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe they need a couple of songs, and maybe that'll be something that they'll be able to release what they're feeling. Because I can only imagine as a child, I can't even handle it as a grown adult. So think about a child.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been a part of a lot of people losing their lives. Just seeing them. In my neighborhood, I got best friends who didn't make it to 19 years old.
Yeah.
That's terrible. One of my friends that used to come pick me up every day from school, shot up AK-47, sprayed 42 times. That's terrible. 42. What could possibly going on? I said 42 times. They wanted him dead. Mad. They wanted him dead. They was mad.
Good grief. So I fortunately have not had to deal with I don't operate in those crowds, I guess, because that's not something that's typical. Like my death is because the person got older and they passed away because they're older and stuff like that happens. Now even that, I think some of the ones that I know, like as far as my uncles and aunts and stuff like that, they probably didn't have to pass so early, but it wasn't early. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's that, y'all. Listen, he said for y'all young people, tap in. If the girls want to tap in over here, then tap in, y'all. Here's the thing, so we can lead into this segue into the relationship things. I don't know nothing about what to tell a young boy. I can just say what I say, but I've realized in raising my own children that I have 3 boys and 1 girl, and I look at them different. I look at my daughter and I'm like, she got it right. Then my boys, I'm like, listen. I tried, but I can't. How do I didn't have the words to, or the know-how, and I think one thing in black relationships is women now have had to take the roles of both so long, right?
Yes.
That I don't think that we can't though. How could we even begin to understand them?
I gotta say something, and this is coming from the heart. This is coming from with all love. Stop kicking the black man out the house.
Well, first he got to get in the house, sir. Don't do me.
That too.
But first he got to get in the house.
I mean, yes, even if you start off and you do manage in the house and everything, you have some conflict and everything. Stop kicking that man out the house. All you did was made things worse. And that's just giving it to you love on the side of a man. Who's been there? I've been kicked. I've been that dude.
Y'all, I'm trying not to go in on him yet because he's a guest today. Now, if he come back tomorrow, you know how they be a guest in your house the first time.
Go in. Let's do it.
But I mean, really, literally, y'all got to start doing stuff to not get kicked out the house too. It's a problem all the way around. So this is what we gonna do. We gonna talk about. I'm gonna read this thing that I found online that said what black love is. You ready?
I'm ready.
You sure?
Was it powerful?
It was good. I'm gonna do something.
We needed something good online, especially when it's black.
I ain't gonna. Okay, here it says black love.
Let's go.
Black love is the acknowledgement of making sacrifices. That's already deep before we even get.
That's a true statement.
Before we even get started, though, listen to that. That's already deep. So, black love is the acknowledgement of making sacrifices. We as a couple have to adapt to one another.
True. Along
with outside forces which affects one's everyday life. We adapt to each other. Plus, we got to try to work out in this world, right?
Facts.
Daily, right? Then it says, black love to me can be affectionate, caring, passionate, strong, difficult, painful, cherished. Black love has sustained the test of time.
That's deep.
It's a lot. I'm gonna have to forward that on over to you so you can see.
You can forward that to me.
I'm gonna have to forward. Let me say it again because I'm one of them people that I got. Sometimes you learn in repetition, so I got to say it again.
Yeah, dive in.
Black love is the acknowledgement of making sacrifice. You got to acknowledge that you have to make a sacrifice. See, what I found is that people so many times in relationships, our relationships, I only can talk about us, is we don't understand that we have to make women, we make sacrifices, and I don't think that men always know because we don't say it in your face, but it be stuff stuff that be happening, and that's a sacrifice for us. So, but you have to acknowledge you have to, because in a relationship, if you're so worried about self, how can you make a sacrifice? Because the sacrifice means that you are doing something that you normally wouldn't do because of a situation or another person, correct?
True that.
So acknowledging that we have to make, okay, listen, I get excited.
All right.
We as a couple have to adapt to one another. So that's the hard part, because men and women, we ain't the same, right?
That is true, and it takes learning, it takes sacrifice, endurance, and mental strength.
Definitely a lot of mental, especially when we begging each other up against it, because we so used to fighting. We always got the boxing gloves on both sides,
and throw some humor in there too. Don't be afraid to make each other laugh, even though you're mad. But that's a good way to get your point across, and nobody can be offended. Because how you gonna be offended?
Sometimes people play too much.
You might play a little bit too much, but it's all in love. But that's another way of communicating. Instead of the regular way of communicating, flip the convo, throw some humor in there. That
at
way,
the appropriate time.
Yeah,
correct?
At the appropriate time. You can't throw humor in there and then your lady all serious. Then she got the mad face looking at you, and now you like, oh, guess dinner ain't gonna be good tonight.
Dinner is gonna always be good, because guess what we ain't gonna do? We ain't gonna hold grudges.
That's what I like right there.
We ain't gonna hold no grudges.
That's what's about that paragraph. That's what that tells me. You really live by that paragraph. You know what? I've been listening to you, and we've been having some conversations through these weeks, and I have to say that your mind and your thoughts is a little bit different, and I think a lot of men could learn something from you, to be perfectly honest for you.
I'm just trying to help us. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, thank you. I appreciate that, brother, before I even go there. You know what? I did a lot of soul searching for like 5 years, from 2010. I didn't have no choice. God was like, listen, sit yourself down, because something is wrong with you. And so I sat down and I really listened, and I had to learn about some stuff. And in the work that I do, we talk about relationships all the time. Not only that, I don't think I started off behind so much because of the mother that I have. Shout out to Johnny Howell, let's say, and Ernest Howell on Facebook. Y'all get it. I'll commend y'all. Okay, anyway, but my parents, they still married. I tell people that all the time, and they're married joyously. You understand what I'm saying? They'll be 50 years next year. Will be 50 years in July that they've been married.
That's a blessing. I'm gonna say that again. That's a blessing.
So as a child, though, when you're growing up, you don't understand that, right? They your parents, and they get on your nerves. Just like my kids, they be like, "Mama, get on my nerves," but I'm a good mama. They better leave me alone. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so I had to do some searching and change myself, because I wasn't as good as I think I can be. And so now that when I'm actually thinking about this, is really what you hear me saying is how I really live my life. So when I'm saying this stuff, I'm like, yeah, like we got to be able to communicate well. Well, let's not get to solutions first. We're gonna get into problems, because that's I want to know the problem.
Yeah, let me know your top problem with us black men.
So no, you don't get to start. No, let me not do that, King. Listen, my main issue is the follow through. I am very, very adamant about, if you say you're going to do something, do what you say you're going to do, because it causes a whole lot of issues. The thing that women need the most is security in their men, right? So if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, now you done broke down the security and the trust. And those are kind of the communication, because now you done poorly communicated, which is the top ones for me. Communication, trust, security. Those are the top ones, right? Typically a woman, those are the top things, right? Mm-hmm. So we want those things. So now you done not follow through with what you said you was gonna do. And to y'all, that might be like, I'll just no, man, no, you gotta follow through on what you said you're gonna do.
You know what, saying it like you just said it, no, I can understand it a little bit better. But when you in that heated situation and the female is speaking to you trying to understand where she's coming from, and also you trying to make sure that she ain't on no flip flop on yourself, because us men, we don't we go through things too. We carry the weight on our shoulders, especially as black men. I don't know if any of y'all tried to be a black man lately, but
listen,
it just seems like everybody want us, but they want us dead.
Oh man, that's deep.
I
don't want you dead, brother.
I mean, think about that.
I want you alive and thriving.
Our black women, some of them don't. I ran up on some black women the other day, and the conversation they was having about black men, I had to step up to the plate and and say some things because they was going in on
Was
on
they
us,
right?
fellas.
Was it? Well, first of all, you can't take somebody's perception away, right? And so there's a reason why I don't think that we're delusional, right? People as a whole, there's some people that are. So if that's their perception, there's a reason why. So now we got to get down to the why do they perceive that way? But you can't. So you stepped up to the plate, King,
and flipped the combo.
What was the combo that you flipped there?
Man, I had to flip the way that they think about us. You know, we're not. All of us are not lazy. Some of us are. A lot of us are very well educated.
That's what they were saying.
You know,
I got to take notes.
We make good decisions. We love being in families. We love being, you know, raising households with our kids. You know, we like working. But you know what, ladies? It takes a woman to bring that out of a man. Not a bad bee.
We always talk
all that. Stop that, ladies. Be the best you can be.
So I think you made a good point because, you know, we don't understand. So, you know, if anybody know me, y'all know I love God and I believe in the Bible. And if we have made something mean something that it didn't mean. A Proverbs 31 woman was not a bad bee.
Thank you.
They was not doing stuff. She was doing everything.
Say that again.
And it said her man is only blessed in the city gates because of her. So you know that I talk about that all the time. But see, here's the thing. So here's what men don't understand. And I get all excited. But here's what men don't understand is what y'all think is control is not control, it's our purpose. And so I read this book because I read a lot of stuff. But the guy said, when you don't understand the purpose or nature of something, it's inevitable you will abuse it, right? So when you come in and so the woman, you give her a house, she makes it a home, right? So she's supposed to come in and make that thing work, right? So when you say, babe, we're gonna buy this house, and then she done already thought about the furniture that's gonna be in it. She done thought about what we gonna put in these different rooms. She done thought about you, the kids, and her, right? When we go grocery shopping, it ain't just we figuring out what everybody wants, so everybody gets a part. You understand? So what a lot of men. So this was my second thing that I wrote down about men. They think that we're controlling when we're really only operating in our purpose, but because we have been broken down in slavery, right? And we think everything's as control that has an order to it, right? Is they start thinking about control. In my own dating experiences in these so I just started dating y'all. Listen, let me tell you, I'm about to get off the market very quickly because nobody got time. But listen, I get tired of hearing that I'm controlling. Am I controlling? No, because I don't need you to do what I say do. I need you to follow through. And I need you to like put some pep in yourself. How we gonna get to the things you said it take a woman to help a man be these different things? So you sitting around being lazy, and you mad because I said you sitting around being lazy? I'm confused. So make up now. What I say it like that for you get because he done got y'all got to see him. He done got up in his chair and things. But if I say, babe, you need to do X, Y, and Z, then why is that controlling?
I'm just gonna ask you. You know, one thing I noticed too, and I can only speak as far as with myself, and you know, a lot of the things I've done in the community, helping young kids out, and what they've brought to me. So, what men think is controlling, you're right, is really not control, but we haven't been experienced to women doing that with us. Think about how we grow up. We grow up, we come out, we have to be tough.
Our parents might have been controlling though.
You know, we got to be tough in the hood. You know, we gotta stand up. We can't cry. We got to hold all these different type of emotions in, and then when we get to that manhood part, we got to be even tougher because we do want to take care of our woman. We do want to take care of our kids, and we do want to listen to y'all. But sometimes it's hard to listen to something that really don't make no sense because we haven't been exposed to that type of behavior. Good.
So we got to flip the combo.
Ladies, you got to start exposing us men to that type of feeling. Kids, even as kids, you know.
Listen, my son been going through something. I've been telling him to cry for the past 6 years. Listen, I don't know where we got that. First of all, pain hurts. Emotional stuff hurts. Trauma hurts. Cry that thing out, cuss that thing out, punch a punching bag. I don't care what you got to do, and don't take it out on us. Like, what we're doing is, I think we got both on both sides. We got PTSD, PTSS from relationships.
Yeah, traumatizing each other out here.
Listen, I think we started and it starts in childhood. Like, I think our parents might have. I teach a lot of times, stop bullying these kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all
my
too.
kids be bullying me, but anyway.
I'm gonna tell y'all too. When you're younger parents, when you have a baby can't talk, right? So guess what? That baby's learning through his eyes.
Right.
So just because that baby can't talk, don't believe that baby ain't looking and absorbing, and that brain is moving. And he's learning from day one.
So that's like when I think last week I was talking about modeling and talking about, like, I remember walking down the street one day, and it was in the morning time. I was walking my kids to the bus stop, right? So walking day, and it's I don't know, my daughter's probably about, I don't know, let's say she was 8. But I remember putting on we had a hoodie on, right? So it was cold. So I zipped my jacket up. I looked over, she zipped her jacket up. I was like, all right, just zipped her jacket. I put my hoodie on. She looked over me and put her hoodie on, right? So even as babies, or as we grow, even in us as adults, when you see something you like, think about, you see somebody running this type of car, you be like, I want that car. You see somebody dressed a certain type of way. So we have to be careful at the things that we expose our children to.
Exposure.
So listen, we done got deep, because I was trying to just talk about the relationship between, but for me, I guess
this is all relationship. This is all connected.
I know, but I wanted to talk about,
because think about it. Think how many men lose good women or the woman they truly love because of the children, because he hasn't either nurtured enough, or what she feel is not nurturing enough.
That's probably
as
true.
A father.
That's probably true.
And sometimes, the men, we do certain things in the home, but I think what happens is we're not doing the things that matters the most.
Exactly. So, and then here's the issue that we have, that I've been finding. Like, I tell men what the issue is, and then they tell me what my issue is with them. Now, first of all, sir, and another sir, how you gonna?
You should see this one. She done got the back arch, y'all.
Not the arch. I just stood up, right? But no, how you gonna tell me, like, what my problem is? Sometimes that I didn't write that down here, but I did write accountability. I have an issue with accountability. Like, just listen. Come on now. We know it's your fault if you did something. I know it's my fault if I did something. We might both be at fault, right? So I always say it doesn't matter what started the issue, but did I do something that I need to be accountable for? My bad. I didn't mean to yada, 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 because we go through stuff. You understand what I'm saying? And so sometimes we have some issues, but we got to come back and say, babe, I didn't mean to do all of that. Or even in my children, I've apologized to them. Ooh, I can't stand apologizing to them. But that's something, listen, that we've learned, right?
And fellas, you're not soft if you apologize to your lady. I mean, let me just tell you something. Who besides your lady gonna know you apologize?
True. Well, listen, if y'all have a woman, ain't nobody gonna know except her best friend, and maybe the other best friend.
And let me just tell y'all this, ladies. I'm gonna just tell y'all one word that goes a long way with us fellas. Validation.
For real?
Validation.
But y'all be acting like y'all don't need validation.
Nah, it's not about an act.
Okay,
all we need you to say is, you know what?
I understand.
That's what you was feeling at that time. That's how it looked to you at that time. Fine.
I get it.
Nothing else.
I think because we need validation too. I guess we just need it in a different type of way. But I've been teaching, so now I got to check myself, because in class I talk about validation all the time, and I always talk about men ain't really too worried about validation, but I guess I lie.
This is how y'all do us with the validation thing. We'll try to validate how something looked to us in that period of time, or how it made us feel, and then y'all will flip the script and tell us what we did wrong 3 days ago.
Oh no, I don't do that.
Or yesterday, or right now. You start going in on a problem.
What's the difference between y'all?
And that's cold.
What's the difference between y'all just ignoring?
Well, I don't do that. I don't ignore. If I really can't get to it, trust me, I'm sitting there thinking about it, trying to figure a way out of that. Because the worst thing is to have, someone you like, someone you love upset with you. Because not talking to somebody that you truly love, somebody that you truly like spending time with, and they're not speaking to you, how can you do that? That hurts.
But it's not even just in the not speaking. Like if a situation happens and the person say that ain't what happened, or say, are we talking about it again? And I need to talk about it a couple of times so that I can be out my
talk about it like 5 times.
Out of my feelings, excuse me. But see how that go right there?
But
because you don't need that. What if I need that? So then I don't get any more validation because I done talked about it over your number of times that you want to talk about it.
See, I think at that point,
and we probably still talking about it because you probably didn't validate me the first, second, third, or fourth time. So now we're at the 5th time now.
Yeah, but okay, when you get to that point, then you know it ain't about validation no more. It's about you maybe changing your words so the man can truly understand what you're trying to say.
Anyways, let's move to the next topic. So listen,
talk about that.
I do, but I want to stay on time. And those were my issues that we had.
Okay.
Right. And I'm gonna talk about. Let me just real quick. We probably ain't gonna hit them because we probably hit them. So I had went on Facebook, and of course all the women answered, but there was a couple. They said communication, what is being said and how it's being said and how it's interpreted, which is what you just talked about.
Very important.
It says, is the miscommunication caused by differences in background and experiences, or do men and women just naturally think differently? And so we know we naturally think differently, but it also is environment. Like we've used a couple words. I think, what was some words that we were using? Because I'm from over here and you're from the East Coast, so it was something that was said, and I was like, oh, that's what you think that meant? I don't even know what it was.
What was it?
I don't even know what it was.
Because my lingo,
the crib. We was talking about the crib.
Oh, the crib. Yeah, that's my word.
And I said, well, that's the house. Right? Didn't you say? But you said that's like going back home, right?
Yeah, to me, that's going back home.
I mean, I can see them both, but you see how just those simple words. So if we're talking and we have a different, and so my ex-husband, well, him. Anyway, he's from Africa, and there was a lot of words that we used to have a problem with, and I didn't realize, thinking about like what you associate with what words, and if they're used the same.
That's a valid point, because I can remember having certain conversations in my situation, and the person will use certain words, and I'll be like, are you serious right now? That out of all the words you could have used, you gonna pick that one to throw on me right now?
Do you have an example for us? Can you think of one right now?
Let me think real quick. I can't really think right now.
But that was your response.
I just know that, I heard everything she said until that one word came out, and then she lost me.
Then you flip the script?
I flipped the script.
Did you flip the convo, or did you flip this?
I flipped the script and the convo. Nah, that wasn't in a good way.
So it was a word. So listen, I've learned too that there are certain things that have a trauma related to trauma responses, is what they're called, right? It doesn't have to mean that, And
y'all ladies do a very good job. Y'all 100% at pressing those buttons.
Let me tell you something. I think that for me, and I don't try to press nobody's buttons because that's too much. However, what I do know is that, like, I call myself a girl. I say, because I'm just a girl. I'm a girl. I didn't realize that, because sometimes I'll be talking to, what?
I said, she's a girly girl.
Anyway, sometimes I'll be talking about, and I say boy, and I don't be knowing. And so somebody was telling me recently, they was like, why do you keep calling me a boy?
Yeah, that could be offensive.
But I didn't know. So
it's offensive.
I be thinking, like, in communication, because the next one said miscommunication, right? In communication, though, why can't we just understand that we may not communicate the same, and then we take the time to discuss and talk and communicate well, right?
Because there's a lack of understanding between the black man and the black woman. To be honest with you, it seems like there's a lack of interest between the black men and the black women.
So
we got to get interested back in our own self.
Interested in?
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do out here, y'all.
Myself. I don't know.
We got a lot of work.
And if y'all know me, I've been black powering y'all out since the early days. Like I said, in the 90s, I'm like, I don't even know. I love us. I have no desire to be anybody else. But let me tell you on this, everyone said communication. The only difference I got was expectations, which I think that in the beginning you talk about what you expect. See, this is another thing, brother, what I be having an issue with. So we start talking, right?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about my standards and my expectations, and I say I want to get married, or I say whatever. I don't know. I don't want to marry. I don't even know you. I'll be like, but I ain't talking about you.
I'm talking about you.
What I'm talking about is I'm ready to get married. So if you're not ready to get married, then we're already starting off
wrong.
Okay, so you agree with me. So this other one says balancing the duties of the house.
That's a big one. Can I touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, that's what
I'm finna go in on this one.
Oh, Lord.
Fellas. I don't care what type of fella you is. If you got a lady and y'all getting ready to move in and do y'all thing together, sit down and have those difficult conversations. Sit down. Ask, hey, I'm going to do this. Or tell her, hey, I'm going to do this, and this.
What do you think about that? Because that sounds like I don't have...
And if you can do this and this, and then, it runs smoother. Talk about those finances. Talk about paying those bills. Talk about who's going to do this. Talk about that. Talk about it.
You believe that we should...
Put everything on the table.
So should we know how much each other makes?
Yes.
Should we know about... where we everything?
Yes, I mean if we getting ready to do the thing, if we getting ready to be married or try to get married or be on that path.
What if we move in together but we not trying to get married?
Nah, that don't make no sense.
Oh,
y'all just playing
but
around.
They do that. They people be out.
I mean, if you just roommates, that's what I mean.
So you're saying you wouldn't move in with a chick and then you have no.
Nah, that's hustling backwards to me.
Okay, listen, because I want to get into, because that's all they really had.
Communication is big on our RC, and that's a problem. Why are we not communicating?
I think because we haven't, when you were growing up and kids were to be seen and not heard, my kids, listen, they communicate too well. I'd be like, okay. My son sure would be like, Mama, why are you yelling? I'm like, but most people would have a problem with that. So if you don't teach them, like you've been talking about, if you don't teach them as children how to conduct themselves, how do they, that creates adults that are emotionally immature. You know
what, too, a lot of us is and don't get mad at me, y'all. Y'all out here lusting. Y'all not out here liking each other.
What that mean?
Y'all out here lusting.
Meaning we just want to jump in the bed.
Yeah, y'all just want to jump on each other. You asking questions about body parts. You ain't even know my last name.
Whoop.
But then you gonna turn around and tell. I hear a conversation and then out the same breath you gonna say we ain't nothing. Hold up, wait a minute. You the same female that was just getting ready to be the jump off.
Don't even try, because these men be coming up in here and they hop in your inbox.
Well, I'm not saying that they don't, but think about it. But think about it, y'all. Why y'all get mad at men jumping in y'all inbox? That was what we supposed to do. We've been bred all our life.
I'm not mad at you jumping in my inbox. I'm mad at you.
But y'all saying weird stuff in the inbox.
That's what I'm
y'all gotta cut that off, dude.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my female friends be bugging on y'all too.
Somebody jumped in my inbox and he said, ooh, how do I, mama, close your ears. So he said, can I borrow some of your genitalia? Huh?
Borrow, my dude?
First of all, borrow, have, take, use, touch. Like, come on now, sir. So I said, because I don't know how to just ignore stuff, you know me. I said, sir, I mean, like, is you really getting in my inbox asking about? He said, I said, that's kind of disrespectful and rude.
It really is. So
then he says, well, but it ain't rude when women do it to men. See that deflector stuff that I started talking about? No accountability. First of all, it's a lot on both behalves. And then I'm like, you just got in my inbox and you don't even know me, right? You just got in my inbox and you don't even know me. So how many people you done did?
And not being funny, fellas, if the female told you that's weird and makes her uncomfortable, that's a trait for her. You can't treat every woman the same and put them in that box that, just because I said, and I'm direct and I'm up front, every woman don't like that aggressive talk and that communication style.
That's another
Soften
thing
it
that
up,
I've been
fellas.
having a problem
You're
with.
too hard.
I literally just had this conversation and a dude told me he gonna talk how he want to talk. He said, and I'm not gonna come in there controlling him because he's 50 years old. And
that's fine. Well, you're gonna find yourself by yourself, bro.
or he gonna find. So here's the thing about it. So let me tell you my issue. See, we ain't even got to your issue. You gonna have to come back. So listen,
I'm with it.
Here's my issue. Why is it a problem if I say this is not gonna work for me? Then all of a sudden somebody got to say something crazy to me, right?
No one said crazy. I'm interested because I want to build up this because I think I know what was said, but I want to build up this conversation.
Something about thank you for showing me what I wasn't missing, and you ain't all that anyway, and da 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 da. But here's the interesting part. Every single day though, I've been called for the last 2 weeks. Now, didn't he say I wasn't all that and this and this and this and that? Because when you're in the presence of a queen,
fellas, stop communicating when your feelings is hurt.
When you're in the presence of a queen, you know what it is.
It is.
Do you know what it is when you're in the presence of somebody that is worth something? You
can feel that energy.
Can you see it? Do you know?
You feel like as a man, you got to see those characteristics. I mean, not being funny. A lot of us brothers don't know what a queen looks like because all we've been showed is bad bees in the neighborhood.
Well, why are you only talking about the neighborhood? What about outside the neighborhood?
Even outside the neighborhood, people only go where you show them. Oh. A lot of people that I grew up with, they haven't been outside of their neighborhood. You know, they don't even know what 60 miles out of the town look like. They don't know that we got mountains and waterfalls.
Well, what neighborhood are you from? Let's tell.
I'm from Rochester, New York. Okay. Small town in New York. It's not the country. Unfortunately, it's very wild. Got a lot of violence going on there. A lot of violence.
So, but how did you get to not being a product of the environment then?
I was always different.
Wait, but were you a product of the environment at any part of the time?
I'm part of the environment, trust me.
Don't look at me like that.
Trust me, I'm part of the environment. But the thing is, I'm going to just tell y'all fellas, let me tell you why I never got into a lot of trouble. And I did some things. Trust me, I did some things out there. Not proud of. A lot of things I did I'm not proud of. But here's the separation, fellas. You got to find something to love more than you love those streets and that money.
I like it. So give us an example
I love my mother and my sister and my family more than I did my mother. I love them more than I love that money and in the streets.
So listen, you've said that a lot of times, and you say your mother and your sister, but I think that.
And my family,
that's what I was gonna say.
I had a lot of responsibilities early,
But what about our children, though? Shouldn't we feel like that? Because I think our children are suffering a great deal because I think like when people go to prison and they got kids, I'm like, so y'all didn't think one of my sons, so this is not a judgment, but I'm like, so I've been telling him, you worried about everything else, you need to worry about your child that you need to get out. Yeah. Oh, I had to protect the dude in here. No, you had to hurry up and get out because now you could have the potential of getting more charges. You understand?
I understand both sides when you just said that, because in there's a certain action and there's a certain non-actions that could end up worse for you.
Okay, what about before he even got there? He shouldn't even have been in there because I'm not even gonna get into that. Here, listen, because I want to take we gonna talk. We gonna park a lot that. We gonna park a lot that.
Yeah, go back to my conversation.
You asked me what is my issues with men. So now we want to hear your issues with us.
My issues with the ladies is that there seems to be a lot of non-validation. Like you'll take what your partner says and you turn it into a negative or make him feel like that's not what he saw or that's not what he believed at the time. What do you mean? He said it to you, so that's what he believed. So whether it's a lie or the truth. Something
that I've been saying lately is, and I heard this from Ayana. Shout out to her, Van Zandt. I love her, but I'm gonna be the next. Anyway, let's not. Y'all feel me. But she said. You can't take somebody's perception away from them.
Oh, you can't.
So that taught me to, like, even if you felt like that, first I need to hear that. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then let's figure out why you felt like that.
Right.
Because then it'll be a solution. Because I'm not you. I was having a conversation with, and I'm going to let you speak, I'm sorry. But I was having a conversation with my friend, and she said, when people get mad. I said, I know that they got upset, but I don't know what particular thing set them off.
There you go.
So now I got to ask you, but people don't like my whys. Listen, you...
She ain't lying.
Why?
What happened? Why?
What happened? What's going on over there? What you doing over there? Why? Because I need to
But
understand.
what did you do?
No.
And that's a very
stop.
you know what? Stop. That's a very important question, and I like that question.
What I don't do I ask you?
You know what? I like that question.
Okay,
You know,
so
I think all women should ask that question. What did you do?
Okay. Well,
You
y'all
know, because
should-
that's gonna help. That's gonna help you bring us back
So
because that's what we need from
But
y'all.
you know what? That's accountability.
But that's what we need from y'all.
Okay, I got
Because
it.
we upset, we mad, we ready to touch
Growling.
something. Yeah, we ready to touch
Can't be
something.
touching everything.
Yeah, we ready to touch
What's the
something.
next
So
one?
the woman, the next one for me is adding on to the anger.
So
Ladies,
like
stop that.
antagonistic and
Antagonistic.
adding on to the anger.
Stop that. Your man is already mad. And then you gonna press those buttons too and wondering why he's slamming and moving stuff and leaving.
So you saying leave you alone when you need to give you some space?
You got,
I wrote that down.
You got to know when, or not even space. You got to know when to bring that man back down. Know how to calm that beast.
Can every time we comment though?
You got to.
But can every
that's your
time?
job to me.
Cool.
I'm sorry, but that's your job. And it's vice versa, fellas. When your lady is all emotional and stuff like that, and she want them hugs and them small kisses, you got to give them up, man.
Oh yeah, we need it, all of them, even in
You
your
got.
anger.
I mean, even if you don't like it, fellas, you got to give them up, man.
So what's up with the men not? Well, I guess it's kind of because
It's seen as soft.
But y'all don't be one. Can we?
It's seen as soft, but don't know.
Can I get a handheld and a?
But can I explain it this way?
Yes, sir.
You trying to take a beast and turn them into a. Let's just say you trying to take a big dog, large bark, and now you want them small.
The American Bull.
You want them small with the bite not so loud because you got to get softer. You got to soften up. You know, and, you know it takes time. A lot of men don't know that. It takes time. That's a learned trait. You got to know when to tone it down.
Think that's what I'm
Men,
saying.
you can't be too tough.
The beast just don't have to come out.
No,
all the time.
not all the time.
The beast should never come out with your girl though. That's a little weird.
No, I can't say that because sometimes
why you
ladies,
gonna bite me?
because y'all like that strong figure
No,
man.
I don't like none of that.
I mean, you don't want no soft
this
dude
might be
running
the
around.
difference
You don't want to
between-
be wanting to run them around and
Who's the woman
everything
in
like
this
that.
conversation we having? See, didn't I tell y'all my problem be you telling me what I so Tameca, as a woman, I want you to be strong, but I don't want you to the way you're explaining is not what I think strong is. First of all, I think it's stronger to sometimes we got to walk away from some stuff.
Oh, I
don't
believe
want you
that.
growling
I don't
and
walk
fighting everybody.
away. I don't walk
want you-
away from a lot of things, especially conversations with females
It's
because
strong?
they get heated.
I'm talking about even with if we out in the community, because everything ain't got to be addressed.
No, everything. See, that's my thing too, fellas, and we do have to learn that. We do have to learn that sometimes it is walk away and address those things at home, because believe me, that dude who wants your girl or the dude who alone, he looking at you. He waiting for you to make that mistake. Go and say that to her.
Listen.
Go and call her that
when
B
I
right there.
Go on, and don't let her have no platonic friends that they because they lurking, they ready.
They lurking.
What Chris Rock he said platonic friends is just penis in a black glass.
Yeah,
it's just
hold.
vagina you ain't never got yet is what Chris
it's
Rock
on hold.
said.
You know?
I was like, okay, Chris. Okay, so you said non-validation, adding to the anger.
Mm-hmm.
You want,
and the last one I'm gonna say is being forgiveful. Being forgiveful.
What that mean? Come on with it.
Like forgiving the dude and not bringing it back up every time y'all have a problem. Every time y'all have an issue or something, not whatever his mistake was in the last argument, don't need to be brought up to the next argument.
I think so.
Let that go.
I think for me, when I bring it up, it's not because I just want to have something to say. It's because it's a different action, same concept. Does that make sense? If I say you're disregarding me, and the last time you disregarded me because I was crying, and I've had some people disregarding me, and I'm going through an emotional thing, right? Mm-hmm. And then I tell you about it. Then you do something that disregards me just as strongly. Yeah, I got to show you this is a pattern now. But just to be bringing up stuff, nah.
Yeah, because that makes us be like, and then we tell you something, and then it might not be quite what we said the last time, and now that looks like a lie. But really, it wasn't a lie. We just added a little bit more onto it.
You might have lied, though. But we ain't gonna talk about that today. Okay, listen. So the 3 he gonna give us to work on is gonna be not validating the man. So we got to make sure that we
validation.
So women, we got to understand that when we validate each other, we say, girl, and then what happened?
Right.
He may need words to validate, because let me tell you what I think that the brother is really saying, King. If you listen to me, so when we talk about 5 love languages, right? The main love language of a man is usually words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. So praise him. So along with the validation, I think that he really probably needs you to say some praises, because we forget about that. Because they listen. Okay, close your ears, because I want you to have nothing to say. They be messing up so much, ladies, that listen, it be hard. You got to find the thing to praise sometimes. You got to find the thing to praise sometimes, for real. And that could be vice versa. You understand what I'm saying? But I think that we have been beat down in this world so much that, we operate in pessimistic. We operate in negativity. They've beat us to bloody pulps and killed us. And we've been fighting. We've been in flight mode, right? Flight or fight mode, right? So we've been with the boxing gloves on. You understand? So some things that I wrote down, as the issues, I wrote 2 things. I said we don't understand each other. I said gender issues. We don't understand our roles because we don't have the same role. And remember, I told you that if we don't understand the nature of something, we abuse it. And the other thing I wrote down is learning how to love in action with agape, unconditional love. This ain't contingent upon what you do for me. This is contingent upon just who we are as people.
And that key word for me, and you can add this onto the other list, is unconditional love, ladies.
Okay. We gonna have to come back.
I didn't say stupid love or being, just outlandishly, not thinking. But that unconditional love goes a long way. If your man got an idea, if he started up something,
I'm on it.
Back him up.
Come on, baby, let's do it.
Don't just let him. Even if you just do a little bit. I ain't even talking about the financial part. I'm talking about just giving that man some ideas or making his day easier. Grabbing a piece of paper.
If she's a woman, she would be doing that.
But a lot of women ain't
women.
No, you know why? Because they looking for the man to do that to them. It's okay for the man to sit around while they big up, but they're not going to help the man big up.
That we've already learned. We have not learned our roles. We got to mix, so we don't understand what the purpose of us. So even individually, if you don't understand the purpose of you, it's inevitable you'll do what?
Can I ask a question before I answer?
It's inevitable you'll do what?
Before I answer that one,
it's inevitable you'll do what?
We'll
abuse it, right?
But see,
go ahead, ask
I'm gonna ask my question. I'm gonna ask my question.
See how you don't listen. This is what I'm talking about, y'all.
And this is the difference between men and women. Now, let's just say I'm a waiter, and I'm serving you, and I like you. Are you going to be apt to talk to me if I try to talk to you romantically? Not just most women. What's the most women?
Know. See, I don't know.
What about you?
If the waiter is talking to me,
he's trying to talk to you romantic. Yeah, he's trying to holler at you.
I typically don't deny somebody something just by unless I really ain't attracted to them. Now, because the first thing is that you attracted.
Yeah, you gotta have something.
So I'm attracted to him, right? So then he can get my number, right?
But see, most ladies ain't gonna do that. Girl, he a waiter. What he gonna do for you?
Do y'all know that they make them tips be like $300 a night?
What he gonna do for you, girl?
Well, what are we gonna?
Now, see,
Vito say get you a me.
Now, see, and 2, you don't even know what that man's life been like. Now he could just be doing this.
You know what? I used to have this conversation about cars. Like if somebody don't have a car and they're on a bus, I used to tell my friend, but what is his situation? Because I didn't have to get on the bus when my car was broke down before. What is his situation? What happened? Maybe how can he not? And what could you do? Can you help him learn how to put his money together? Because if he has those other characteristics, see, that's what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. If he got them other characteristics that I need that ain't the ones that most people think, I don't need you to take care of me. I just need you to know how to go get the money.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
But you're different. You're a little bit different.
I can't. There's a lot of for your story. You gonna have to come. We gonna have to come back. You gonna come back?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back and then explain some things. We
ain't got time. But real quick, because I'm gonna run these down, y'all. Because my solution, some things that I think in order for us to have good positive relationship, the first thing we got to do is define it. We got to define what the relationship looks like. That's why we have those conversations in the beginning. So brothers and sisters, y'all got to stop saying it's too early for those conversations. You just got to define, what are y'all goals, right? What does it mean to you? We have to have good, clear communication.
Very good communication.
Good, clear, always. And it's always about unity. I wrote this down. I wrote dialogue versus debated.
Yes.
Debated, we on opposite sides. When we dialogue, we just put ideas together.
Dialogue versus debating. Love it.
Don't you like that?
Love that.
Boom. Give me that one more thing. Anyway, so dialogue versus debate is like, we'll come back and talk about that, because I've been using I'll debate an issue, or I'll say I'll argue an issue. But I'm like, wait a minute, let's dialogue about this. Let's have some. We've been having some good conversation.
Let's flip the convo. You know what? That goes along with the motto. Let's flip the way we do things so we can better understand each other.
So here's another thing: appreciate the differences in each other, because sometimes we try to make each other.
You on point.
But appreciate the differences. The next one is maintain financial peace, man. Because if you're not able to look, if finances is an issue, it's a problem all the way around for everybody. You understand what I'm saying? I'm irritated and stressed. You're irritated and stressed. We irritate, because that's the number one reason why people get divorced.
Most marriages end because of economical and finances. That's why I said talk about everything before y'all decide to do that.
So do stuff together. Don't forget what we did in the beginning to...
Fellas, your girl is your best friend, man. When you get married, stop hanging out with the fellas 5 days a week, man.
What about love on fire? Friendship on fire is your girl. That's friendship on fire. Okay, I'm done. No, okay. The last couple ones I have is apologize, respect, and give space.
Yes.
So listen,
in no particular order.
We're going to come back and we're going to continue. I appreciate this conversation, King. Thank you for coming on and to Let's Talk Sis. I've been telling people I got to change it to Let's Talk Family, because we've been having conversation after conversation but I'm a sis. So I'm really trying to help us, sister. You understand what I'm saying? But I think we got to start talking about these issues, and I really appreciate it. You can check me out on Instagram, Tameca8, at my Yahoo, Tameca Howell at yahoo.com. You can get me on Facebook at Tameca Howell. I think that's all I got right now. Oh, Central City Radio. Shout out to Julian. Right, so y'all go and listen. He has live music, right? So support Black in our community.
Shout out Central City Radio.
Central City Radio, man.
Yes.
And come talk to him. See how you can get involved. What you're doing, because he is really in these streets trying to do it for us. So I support Black businesses all day. So I support him. He got some other stuff we gonna talk about, but we gonna get there. So anyway, we out this piece.
We out.